Hopefully this works. Big build up here. What's up, everyone? Talking minor keys today. Welcome to everybody that's come here from Instagram. I just posted there and on Facebook. Curious to see if it actually works to bring people here. Okay, minor keys. What is the difference between major and minor keys? Well, if we're talking natural minor, if we look at a major key and start on the 6th degree and then make that the 1st degree and just reorder everything, we get the natural minor scale, okay, and natural minor key. Now, the Roman numerals here tell you what chords are in that particular key. You know, if you're jamming over a minor thing and you've got, you have the 5 chord is a major chord or a dominant chord, you're like, where does that come from? Because in a regular natural minor key, the 5 chord's actually minor, okay? So we're going to talk about this. I'm going to show you what notes and chords are in these keys. Okay, so in C natural minor, we have to use the notes from C minor and plug them in and then put the actual chords that are in there. So the 1 chord is C minor, the 2 chord is D diminished, the 3 chord is going to be E flat major. Okay, so I'm just following this. Lowercase Roman numerals mean minor chords, uppercase mean major chords. The 4 chord is going to be F minor. The 5 chord is going to be G minor. The 6 chord is going to be A flat major. And the 7 chord is B flat major. Okay, so if you're in the key of C minor and somebody says, okay, let's play a 1-4-5. Well, 1-4-5 is C minor, F minor, G minor. Okay? The 2 major chords that happen here at the end of the scale are 6 and 7, and you also have 3. So 3, 6, and 7 are your major chords. 1, 4, 5 are your minor chords. So think about it this way. In a major key, 1, 4, 5 are major. In a minor key, 1, 4, 5 are minor, in natural minor. But most of the time, you're actually not playing in natural minor. You're pretty much playing in harmonic minor, typically, when people are talking about minor keys. You could be in melodic minor as well. Okay. Melodic minor. Now, the melodic minor scale is a different scale. It has different notes in them. It has a raised 6th and a raised 7th, okay? So, essentially, a C melodic minor scale is a C major scale with a flat 3rd, a C major scale with an E flat. So I'm going to plug in the notes here and the chords. So C minor, D diminished. This plus means augmented. This is going to be E flat augmented, F major, G major, and then you have A diminished and B diminished. Okay, so these are the chords in C melodic minor. Okay, so what I've done is I've written a C melodic minor scale. Like I said, it's a C major scale with a flat 3rd, with an E flat. All the rest are the natural notes. So those are all the chords in C melodic minor. Well, if you look at 1-4-5, 1 is minor, but 4 and 5 are major, actually. There's a Stevie Wonder tune that uses melodic minor, where it has a minor 1 chord and 4 and 5 is a major chord. I was talking about this with Frank Gambale when I interviewed him. He brought up that, I don't know if it was on tape or not, if it was in the video, but go check out that video of me interviewing Frank Gambale, because Frank plays some insane licks in it. Okay, harmonic minor. Now, you guys that are metal guys know harmonic minor. It's probably this minor scale that you play the most. So, a harmonic minor scale has a flat 3rd and a flat 6th, okay? But it has a major 7th on it. So, we're going to plug those in. Let me get my chair here so I can sit down and do this. So your 1 chord is going to be C minor. Your 2 chord is D diminished. Right? This little circle means diminished. Anytime you see that, if you're wondering, like, what does that mean? It means diminished. That's a symbol for diminished. E flat augmented. So it's E flat augmented just like in melodic minor. F minor. When you have a minor 4 chord, that's where it comes from. G major. A flat major. Remember, because it has that flat 6, and then B diminished. Once again, there we go. So this is your harmonic minor scale and the chords that are derived from it. Okay, so let's see what these sound like. Everybody follow along, Billy?
Yep.
By the way, discount code for this live stream is minor. Go to my website. You can get my book. These keys are on pages 14, 15, and 16 of my Beato book. So that's going to be your shortcut right there for learning these. You can actually look at them. I go into detail into the 7th chords that are there. I talk about the modes that go along with them. I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. But let's talk about these progressions here. Okay, so I'll take C minor. It's a little bit dusty there. So we get C minor. We have D diminished. Okay, so D diminished, D, F, A flat. Then we have E flat major. We have F minor. We have G minor. We have A flat major. We have B flat major. And then back to C minor. So those are the chords in C natural minor. C melodic minor is a little different. Starts at the same, C minor, D diminished. But then on E flat, you have an augmented chord, E flat augmented. You have F major, G major, you have A diminished, and you have B diminished, okay? So it's a very different sounding scale. C harmonic minor, once again, C minor, D diminished. So they all start the same with C minor, D diminished. This one has E flat, augmented, F minor, G major, A flat major. It's cool because it has, and then B diminished. Okay, so if you are in the key of C minor, if somebody says, oh, let's play in C minor, well, you say, well, do you want to play in C natural minor, harmonic minor, melodic minor? You have to be specific. But typically, when somebody's talking about a minor key, they're talking about a key that has a major chord as the 5 chord, either major or dominant chord as the 5 chord. Dominant would be a G7 right there. Now, all of these chords can be turned into 7th chords as well, and that's where you start getting into progressions that you would have in other, in more modern classical music or in jazz, things like that, or in pop. For example, in harmonic minor and melodic minor, the 1 chord is actually a minor major 7 chord. Okay, the 2 chord in here, like for example, here the 2 chord is a minor 7 with a flat 5. Okay, so you've got would be D, F, A flat, C. That would be D minor 7 flat 5. This 3rd chord would be E major 7 sharp 5, or E augmented major 7. So there's a different formula for these if they are 7th chords. The ones to know really for jamming and things is probably the natural minor, to know which ones are, which type of 7th chords there are. So if I were to make these into 7th chords, so put a 3rd on the top, this becomes a minor 7. This becomes a half diminished 7, or I'd call it a minor 7 flat 5. Minor 7 flat 5. This is a major 7. I don't really have enough room. This is a minor 7, minor 7. Let's see here. This is going to be a major 7. That's going to be a dominant 7. Okay, so This is actually much more clear in my book. I spaced these because of being on camera here, so you guys could see these. I spaced them really close together, so I don't have a lot of room to write. But what you want to do is you want to memorize these basic formulas, okay? So the takeaway for this is to remember that when you're dealing with triads, okay, the basic chords of a minor key, in natural minor, 1, 4, and 5 are minor chords, 3, 6, and 7 are major chords, 2 is a diminished, and that's the pattern to remember. Melodic minor is a little bit trickier. 1, 4, and 5 are major, just like in a major key. 2 is diminished, 6 is diminished, and 7 is diminished. Okay? Oh, I screwed up. This is actually minor. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so this chord, 1 and 2 are minor, 4 and 5 are major, 6 and 7 are diminished, and 3 is augmented. So harmonic minor and natural minor both have a diminished chord in the second position. Melodic minor and harmonic minor have an augmented chord as your third chord. So, like I said, typically when somebody says let's play in a minor key or the song is in a minor key, they're talking about harmonic minor. But it really can be the range of any of these things. Like you can have a four minor chord, which comes from the natural minor or from the harmonic minor. So when something's borrowed, when you have a chord progression that has a 4 minor chord in it, that's usually just borrowed from the natural minor, right? So you got, if I'm playing, so that would be 1, 3, 4, 4 minor, back to 1. So that 4 minor chord is coming from the harmonic minor or from the natural minor scale. That's where that chord is borrowed from. It's called a borrowed chord, but that's typically when you hear that, that's where it is coming from. Okay, questions, Billy?
All right, Chris Garner asked, do jazz players use the diminished 2-5-1 in the same way as 2-5-1 for basic jazz?
The 2-5-1 in a minor key?
Yeah.
Yes, they typically do, but typically when you make these seventh chords, the 2-5-1 is going to be from harmonic minor. So it's going to be in the key of C minor, 2, 5, 1. But the 1 chord is going to be minor major 7. Okay, so it's going to be. That's where that minor 2-5-1 comes from, is from a minor key. Now sometimes in some tunes, some jazz tunes, you'll have a minor 2-5-1 or minor 2-5 that resolves to major. I'll give you an example, the song All the Things You Are, which is probably the most common standard. On the bridge, most people will play, they'll play F sharp minor 7 flat 5 as if you're in E minor to B7, I'm doing sharp 5, but instead of resolving to E minor 7, they resolve to E major 7, so. Weird to play my guitar this slow, sorry about that. So, 2. Another question, Billy?
Only other one I could really find is Bernard Phillips asks, how are these useful?
How are these useful? Well, if you're playing, if you're writing a song and you want to write a song in a minor key, you know what the chords are, number one. Number two, if you're in a minor key and you want to improvise over something, right? You want to improvise over a minor 2-5-1. You can use the parent scale, for example, this, and you can use this parent scale. That scale, C harmonic minor, will work over this entire progression. So that would be a chord progression in a minor key right there that you could either improvise over or use for comping or things like that. Why would it be useful? Why is anything useful? Why is knowledge useful? Questions, Billy?
Not really much. Need more questions.
Everybody knows it all now. Green sleeves. There we go, Robert. Isn't the E flat a dominant E flat augmented a dominant chord function? It depends. In the key of C melodic minor, the E flat chord is a minor major 7. Okay, so it'd be this kind of a sound. If you go to harmonic minor, take the notes E, G, B, right? So you got E, G, B, and then E flat, G, B, right? E flat, G, B, and then you have D here. So that's also going to be a minor major 7 chord, okay? I'm sorry, a minor major 7 chord. It's going to be a major 7 sharp 5 chord, or augmented major 7. I was thinking minor major 7. If I put a C in the bass, you get kind of the James Bond chord. When you go like this, that's the James Bond chord there. If I take a G augmented major 7 over E, that gives you that the sound of James Bond. Okay.
I got one.
Yep.
I'm sort of stuck on 2-5 minors. How do I spice them up?
On minor 2-5s, you mean? How do you spice them up? Well, you can add other notes from the scale. For example, if I have a 2-5 in C minor, I can make the 2 chord a minor 11 flat 5. I can go to the 5 chord and make it a dominant 7 flat 9 flat 5, and I can make the 1 chord a minor major 9, right? So my is my melody line, right? I can go. So that time I played minor 11 to minor 7 flat 5, and then I went to a dominant 7 with a flat 9 flat 5 sharp 5 down to the minor 9 with a major 7. So those are ways that you can spice it up. You know, I could play a minor 7 with a flat 6. I could play a dominant 13 flat 9 to a I'm not sure why this is distorted here. Hold on. Oh, I know why. Duh. There we go. I had the gain up. So, once again, what did I play? 2, 5, 1, like that. So, adding upper extensions, trying to find some melodic direction with it. So I had my melody move like that. I could have gone like that too, where I use the 6th as the top note of this chord. That would be a little bit of modal interchange. I could play a major 7, sharp 11 as a sub for D minor 7 flat 5. Right? It's kind of a cool sub. I could go to 2, 5, 1. Right? I could go 2, 5, 1. I used if I go A flat, major 7 sharp 5, right? And then I go to a B major 7 sharp 5, which is a sub for this, for a G7 altered. It's from the same scale. And then so 2, 5, 1. I don't know why I keep missing this thing. It's weird. I'm not used to playing this guitar standing up. So I use this as a sub. I could use this as a sub for this, because it's from the same parent melodic minor scale. Okay, that would be another. Or could use a common tone. Have that F be the common tone in each chord. So there's a lot of different things you can do to spice up a minor 2, 5, 1 just by adding some upper extensions to the chord changes.
I got another one here for you.
Yep.
Can you tritone sub with minor major 7s?
You can tritone sub. Well, tritone sub implies that it's a dominant chord that you're substituting. So could you tritone sub with a minor major 7? Well, kind of, you could. You're using the parent scale of a, that would have a minor major 7th chord in it. For example, let's say I did a 2, 5, 1 in G. So A minor 7, D7, G major 7. I could do a tritone sub A minor 7 to A flat 7. That would be a tritone sub to G major 7. Okay, for this here, I can play this as a sub. This E flat minor major 7 or minor major 9, because it is out of the same parent scale as this. Okay, so I could play 2, 5, 1. That's actually a really cool sub right there. So I did a D, C over D chord, right, as my sub for my A minor 7. Then 2, 5, 1, as opposed to 2, 5, 1. Listen, when you hear it, sounds very similar, right? Or this. So yeah, that's a way that you can use a minor major 7, but I'm using the minor major 7 as a sub for the tritone sub, if that makes sense.
All right. Rath asked, any tips on minor chords with open voicings?
Well, minor chords with open voicings. Basically, to find good voicings that use open strings, you will devote one of the open strings as one of the notes of the chord. It could be an upper extension, could be anything, right? So I could play a C minor chord like that, where I use the open G string. I could do this, right? I could play, let's say I play this chord. This would be an A flat minor. It's got the 9th and the 3rd and the 7th there. The beauty is it's got that 3rd and the flat 3rd and the 2nd right next to each other. It's a great chord. That's from Entangled by Genesis. There's many different minor. That'd be a C minor voicing with using the open strings, or this could be a C minor voicing using open strings, right? There's many different A minor chord using the open B and E strings. That'd be an A minor 9 sound. A minor 6 with a 9th. Okay, so there's, you know, I can use this, the B string as the 9th in the chord, or I can use it as the 3rd in the chord, or I can use it as the 4th in the chord, or the 5th of the chord. I can use the high E string. I can use it as the 3rd of C sharp minor, right? I can use it as the 9th of D minor 7 flat 5 with the 9. That's beautiful. There you go. So 2, 5, 1. That's pretty cool. Discount code is minor. 30% off the Beato book. All these things are here right in the... only comes in PDF, but if you look here, this is the harmonic minor scale. It'll tell you that the harmonic minor scale goes with the 1 chord, Locrian natural 6 goes with the 2 chord, Ionian augmented goes with the 3 chord, Dorian sharp 4 goes with a 4 chord, Phrygian major with a 5, Lydian sharp 9 with a 6, and alter dominant double flat 7 goes with a 7 chord. The same thing with melodic minor. Each one of these scale degrees has a mode that corresponds with it. This would be C melodic minor, D Dorian flat 2, E flat Lydian augmented, F Mixolydian sharp 11, G Mixolydian flat 6, A Locrian natural 2, and B altered dominant or B super Locrian. Okay, these are just the standard modes of the major scale, but starting with Aeolian. So it'd be Aeolian, Locrian, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian. Okay? So every one of these scales has a set of modes that go with them, with each chord in there. And you have to memorize these basically. I mean, there are no shortcuts around these. If you want to improvise over chord progressions, no matter what it is, you have to know what scales are in these chords. If I want to play over a minor 7 flat 5, so that's a D minor 7 flat 5, I can play a scale. So this would be a scale that has, that is Locrian, right? So as a flat 9 in, or I can use the natural 9. Beautiful sound. Okay. So any of these chords, if you have the minor major 7 chord, like C minor major 7, I can play, if you know that's melodic minor or harmonic minor. Different sound, that flat 6. Or that's melodic minor. a natural minor chord for that. Love that sound though. I love that. The Aeolian sound. That's an Aeolian sound. If I play Dorian sound, there's that natural 13. Okay, I could play Phrygian with that flat 9. So there's a lot of different possibilities with the minor. There's so many different minor chord sounds. You have Dorian, you have Phrygian, you have Aeolian, you have Dorian sharp 4, you have harmonic minor, you have melodic minor. Many, many different minor sounds that you can play. So understanding these minor keys, the different minor modes, they all have their own colors. And essentially, this is just memorization of these things and learning how to use them, learning what a melodic minor scale sounds like, learning what a harmonic minor scale with that minor third interval or augmented second. It's tricky. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to commit to memory. It is. I'm not gonna lie to you, but the more of these things you know, the more possibilities you have for writing, for improvising, whatever it may be. I think it's really exciting to experiment with these different sounds and get them under your fingers, control them, know how to play melodic ideas within them is really cool. That's it for now. Remember, 30% off discount code, anything in my store. If you want to support my channel, that's how you do it. Discount code is minor. Page 14 through 16 gives you the 3 different minor scales: natural minor, melodic minor, and harmonic minor. And then it continues on with different progressions in those keys. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Billy, thank you. We'll see you later.